Everything that we made, the ones that made us. Maybe just one day we'll see that time again, 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 however, it won't be simple, so we gotta keep pushing till we make it. We can make it if we try hard enough, even though it feels far off. But trust me, we'll make it. If there's a way to turn back to the very beginning, I wanna see what I did before this chaos got for us. Everything that we made, the ones that made us. Maybe just one day we'll see that time again, 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 however, it won't be simple, so we gotta keep pushing till we make it. We can make it if we try hard enough, even though it feels far off. But trust me, we'll make it. Hello, and welcome to the ICSCS full release stream. It's such a great pleasure to see all of you here. And this is the final stream about ICSCS that I will ever do. It has been more than 3 years ever since Singularity Containment Site had started development. During those 3 years, we had seen the evolution of Singularity Containment Site from pre-alpha all the way to the full release. I'm not going to go through what the full release, also known as the concluding update, offers. It's up to you to explore it yourself. Of course, it's the smallest update, but it's something that I'm really proud of developing. But since this game is complete, I also made one last trailer for the game. I tried to showcase as many features in the trailer while keeping it simple. Take a look at this. Since the game had went this far in development, I wanted to take a moment to showcase the evolution of Singularity Containment Site. But before I do, I wanted to make an announcement. There's this one game called ICSCS Legacy, where you can experience Alpha Part 2, which was before the layout and architecture revamp. Today, I'm excited to announce an update to ICSCS Legacy, and here's a look. Ta-da! This is the new menu for ICS Legacy, where you can select the version you explore, and you can explore the older versions and learn about the history of this game. Starting all the way from revision 0.1 to revision 2.1.1. And this is what I'm going to be using to showcase the evolution of Singularity Containment Site. I'm not going to go over the minor or patch updates for this, but you're free to visit those for yourself. Let's start off with pre-alpha, which is the foundation of what's to come for the game afterwards. This is what pre-alpha looks like. It's really basic and there's nothing much to do. Almost all of the buttons in the main menu as well as the in-game menus button does not have a UI in this version. The only thing you can do in the main menu is send feedback and that's it. Anyways, let's click on play. Hello and welcome to the Internal Corporation Singularity Containment Site. I'm Dr. Herbert, the founder of Internal Corporation. It's a pleasure to have you here. Located 4,500 feet below the surface, this facility houses the stabilized Black Hole Reactor Mark II, where you can manage and perform maintenance on. Succeeding the failed Mark I, the Mark II is more efficient than its predecessor. As a new journey of your career comes to a start, you're assigned to maintain this facility. The trip to your new job begins here, and we wish you a good luck to you. Have a good job, and report your experience if you have any questions or issues. People who's played since pre-alpha and compared it to now might feel nostalgic from this, because that's the same feeling for me as well. This version barely has any interaction whatsoever, and really the only thing to do is ride the transit or start up the SPHR Mark II. No challenges, no interactivity, no... Anyways, let's explore this facility. This is the transit back in pre-alpha. It looks really basic because this was an experiment. Not to worry, it gets better with each update. Anyways, let's ride the transit to the other part of the facility. Here's the atrium. It also feels basic but nostalgic at the same time. There's also the internal cafe, in which it becomes interactive in a future update. There's also the internal archives as well, where you can analyze the displays. However, it has been removed ever since, as they do not really serve a point. That's all for this sublevel. Let's move on to sublevel 2. And yeah, back then you have to wait for the elevator to close its doors before you can do anything to it. Pretty tedious, I know. Here's sublevel 2. It was also basic back then. You have the living quarters, but sadly you can't sleep on the beds, unlike in a future update. And let's head to the other side of this facility. Here's security offices. It's just a single room that will be developed in the future as well. I know, the reactor management is sublevel as well, but I'll get back to it in a bit. Anyways, sublevel 3 and sublevel 4 doesn't exist in this release, nor the next two updates were included. So let's head to sublevel 5 instead. Here we are, sublevel 5. First up, we have the coolant pumps and tanks, and they're not functional right now. There's also the emergency generators as well, in which it's also not functional. Anyways, there's nothing much in sublevel 5, so let's head on down to sublevel 6. And finally, here's sublevel 6. It's still empty, of course, because this version of ICSCS is bare bones. This right here is the material cave, but there's nothing to mine, it's just terrain and that's it. There's a walkway at sublevel 5 though, so you can see what's going on in the material cave. And of course, I can't forget the airlock area, as well as the hazmat and showers area. Of course, the airlock doesn't work, nor does any hazmat suits in this version. Anyways, we have already seen everything, so let's go to the reactor management. This is the moment that you have been waiting for. The startup for the SR Mark II. I'm not going to go through the startup for Alpha 1 or Alpha Part 2. They're literally the same and anything changed about the startup in the aforementioned versions. Anyways, startup the SR Mark II.
Calibrate from laser alpha. Calibration laser. Laser alpha calibrated. Formation laser beta calibrated. Calibrating global systems. Engaging formation lasers.
And that's the startup for you. And that's all for pre-alpha. This version is bare bones and there's nothing much to do, but do not worry, it gets even better with the next update, which is Alpha Part 1. This is Alpha Part 1. It's quite a big glow up in terms of features. This is probably the most innovative update where it brings new occupation and tasks, and also introduces NPCs and other stuff. The options, donate and about UI works now, unlike the previous version. It was kind of hard planning the UI for those buttons, but hey, at least it's worth it. Now, let's click on play. I'm not going to go through the introduction again as it's literally the same thing as pre-alpha. I'm also not going to go through Alpha Part 2's introduction idea, just a heads up. Anyways, this time, I'm at the top side, and I'm immediately greeted with a daily rewards UI. This time, you can cash or receive cash in the game. What can you use it for? Well, in this version, you can only use it to spend on food and drinks. Like for example, I'm in the internal cafe and I'm feeling hungry right now. So I can just walk to the cashier in the internal cafe and order my food here. Okay, now I'm completely filled up. Now I'm going down to sub level 1, which is where a lot of the fun happens. Yes. This is the loading area where you can collect them from deliveries that you had ordered. Also, I forgot to mention that the new UIs also applied in 8, where you can check your stats, change your occupations, and so on. There are also new buttons right bottom corner of my screen, where you can access the notification, the minimap, status. Not available button isn't available for the time being. Here's Columns OS. Columns OS, of course, looks bare bones in this update, but it's a foundation of what's to come. You can personalize the OS, order stuff, or even check the reviews for the place. Other than that, there's nothing much in here at the moment. And now, what about tasks? There's a visitor that needs help, and I can approach the visitor and get a task. Of course, you guys had it easy in the current update because there's no item guide in this version. There we go. I have finally completed the visitor's task, and I had gained reputation as a result. There's a paycheck system where once a day ends, the game will give players a paycheck, and that's how they could get their cash after the work. I'm going to try and keep the showcases short and simple because showcasing all of the features will take way too long, considering the streams that I had done about ICSCS back then. This is one of the events in Alpha Part 1, where you can play as a security to ensure that the SPHR Mark II is stable, or fend off invaders. It's something that I struggled to work for a while, but hey, it's worth it. And finally, you can fill in the containers in this update, but in this update, you'll have to fill the containers from the top and bottom structures. I'm not going to go over the depressurization process in the startup, nor I'm going to show the startup here since it's practically the same as pre-alpha's version. Anyways, that's all for Alpha Part 1. I'm trying to keep things short and simple for this because there's a lot to go. Didn't want the stream to end up being too long though. The next update only focuses on one thing, which is an occupation, research. This is Alpha Part 2. The only difference made in the main menu is the donate UI, where people can donate just to get cash. In the end, I had to remove it because I felt guilty on letting players donate Robux just to get cash. I only wanted the game to have little to no pay to win whatsoever. I know, Singularity UXs, but at least you aren't competing against players, but rather collaborating with them instead. Columns OS had an update in this update, where you can use the computer to also share Word documents around via SafeCloud. There's also Atom Direct, where you can purchase chemicals and physics apparatus. You can also buy samples for you to analyze in the biology labs as well, but I won't go through that. You'll find out if you want. I'm only going through the main highlight about the updates in order to not make this way too long. Anyways, here's the biology laboratories. You can simply grab a sample if it's food or humanoid. Then you can analyze them onto a microscope and it'll print out a report like so. The report number will go up every time someone analyzes something. You can even analyze chemicals as well. This is the physics labs, the largest lab introduced with this update. You can perform small physics experiments here, as do larger ones in the 4 physics areas. The sandbox area was removed because it could be abused and all that. I'm going to go to my favorite testing area, which is the object launcher. You can simply grab something from the apparatus storage, load it into the object launcher, select the wall, adjust the pressure, and fire away. Of course, I can't go through all of them, otherwise the stream will take a very long time. And finally, here's the chemistry labs. The chemistry labs has to be my favorite lab out of the 3 by far because of the amount of combinations you can do with the chemicals and such. Let's say that I combine barylite and barylite, and then I'll get another chemical. All of the chemicals have different effects if you link it or combine with an object. And finally, this is Guidely. Guidely used to be just for guides and wasn't much in this update, but it sure does bring a lot of charm to the guides with you being assisted by someone else. Of course, Guidely will serve more purpose in the future updates. That's all for Alpha Part 2. There's also 3 new events in the game as well, but I'm highlighting the noteworthy features for this one. And it's something that really makes the game more complete. Believe it or not, next update is where everything changed. Take a look. Notice anything? That's right. Pre-beta is a leap forward in terms of architecture and such. While the gameplay remains mostly the same, I decided to redesign the entire layout and architecture, keeping the same layout where it wraps around the chamber, as well as changing several aspects of the game. For example, the internal transit now has 2 cars instead of 1. Anyways, let's head into the game. Welcome to Internal Corporation Singularity Containment Site. A facility housing the well-known stabilized black hole reactor Mark II. Anyways, let's head into the game.
We were at like the
I'm-
pre-beta introduction.
I'm currently looking at a no signal thing. I think this is like immediately after core startup.
So you're not.
A facility
I'm
housing
sure.
the well-known stabilized black hole reactor
Oh.
Mark II.
It is back.
In addition to that, this facility offers scrumptious meals, courtesy of the 2 internal cafes. For quite some time, this facility had been mostly visited thanks to its openness to visitors. Or at least it was.
Breaking news. There is a virus called COVID-19 ravaging the world, and all civilians are required to stay at home. Public places must be shut down to minimize the spread of COVID-19.
The facility is forced to comply with the government's orders to shut down. With no one present to maintain the XPHR Mark II, it had to be shut down to prevent damage. Several maintenance workers were laid off due to the closure, while employees had to work from home, handling various tasks that the employer offers. After a year, restrictions have been lifted, but all civilians are still required to wear masks outside. Additionally, temperature scanners are now installed in every indoor building, including internal corporation singularity containment site. As the grand reopening of ICSCS approaches, you find yourself in a tour group heading to the facility. As a potential staff member for internal corporation, you eagerly kept your eyes wide open as your tour group is approaching the facility. There we go. However, I'm going to skip the tour because I'm pretty sure most of the beta testers have went through this. Anyways, the new architecture. It looks familiar but new at the same time. There's also the employee shortcut, although the main entrance is much faster. Because if you were to be without a visitor card, you can't use the main entrance. Anyways, there's some new OSTs. Most of them are remakes of the existing OSTs, and some of them are new ones. Anyways, let's head down to sub-level 1. This is sub-level 1 now. The parking lot and loading area have been moved to the other side of Station Alpha, while I'm standing at the entrance side of Station Alpha. The internal transit had been reworked and now sports 2 cars. There can now be more than one internal transit at a time, unlike Alpha Part 2 and older, where it's only a loop. Anyways, let's ride the internal transit. Due to COVID-19 safety measures, we regret to inform you that the train capacity has The transit approaching Station Alpha Platform 2. Please do not. Next station, Station Beta Reactor Station. You're now at Station Beta Reactor Station. Attention all passengers. Due to COVID-19 safety measures, we regret to inform you that the train capacity has been limited to 10 passengers. Here we are. This is the new atrium for Singularity Containment Site. There's a merch store here, and the internal archives had to be downsized. The facility now takes place in a huge cave which surrounds it. There's also a leaderboard where players can compete against each other in terms of tasks completed, etc. Anyways, nothing much to say about this sublevel, so yeah. This update is centered around this redesign, as well as sublevel 3 and sublevel 4. So, let's go down to sublevel 3 first. This is sublevel 3, also known as the database sublevel. I'm not going to go over sublevel 2, 5, and 6 because they all still had the same purpose. In this sublevel, it hosts the Internal Corporation System Software, or ICSS for short. The ICSS is required in order to see the status for the SPA John Mark II, as well as everything else. The two server farms that are at the same site as the ICSS server farm do play a role in maintaining the latency of the ICSS, so if one of them fails, it could impact the latency of the ICSS. The cooling fans in the server farms determine how fast the servers will degrade as well. There's also the miscellaneous servers at the other side of sublevel 3, but that plays another role, as there's two events that utilize that area. However, pre-beta only has one event that uses that area at the moment, where there's the other one introduced in beta, but we'll get to that later on. And finally, there's a hardware storage area where you can grab spare parts to perform maintenance on the servers. Anyways, that's all for sublevel 3. Now let's head down to sublevel 4. And this is sublevel 4, the office sublevel. This is a sublevel centered around employees, while sublevel 3 is centered around maintenance workers. In this sublevel, you get to do office work, of course. And of course, Columns OS got updated in this update. Now you can create presentations, as well as print documents. There's also a new website as well where you can order spare parts for the servers, but I'm not going to go through those, otherwise the showcases will take too long. If you want, you can watch the stream showcasing the updates for Singularity Containment Site for more information. Guidely also had an update, and no longer just serves as a guide that will help you along the way, but also a person to talk to. Plus, there's a purpose for the friendship meter as well, in which if you had watched the Devastations of Plenty stream, then that's what I had been planning. It's where Guidely will appear in the endings. You can talk to Guidely or go through the guide, but you won't have to if you already completed the guide. Anyways, before I go on to the next update, I gotta show you the new startup. I decided to remake the entire startup for pre-beta, and it's the startup that is still being used today. Here we go. To wear a face mask at all times, especially when exploring the facility. Let's break the COVID-19 chain together. Calibrating formation lasers alpha and beta. Done. Calibrating thermal systems. Done. Engaging formation lasers, alpha and beta. Done. Now forming reactor safeguards. Done. Generating black hole solution. Done. Initializing power lasers. Done. Sending reactor information through servers. Done. Stabilized Black Hole Reactor Mark II startup has been completed. And that's all for pre-beta. Pre-beta was a leap forward in terms of features, and in addition to the architectural and layout revamp, it was substantial, which was why the version went from 1.1.2 to 2.0. Anyways, let's go into the version that you're in right now, which is beta. And finally, we're going to take a look at beta. The beta update is probably the most anticipated update for Singularity Containment Site. And of course, it introduces the black hole instability. However, that feature isn't my proudest, but it does get the job done. I tried to make the black hole instability as insane as possible, and I added 8 endings for players to go through. Of course, I gotta demonstrate the main highlight of the update. Also, the instability is meant to be hard to get, because I didn't intend to base Singularity Containment Site around this event. Attention all personnel. We have observed a decline in stability with the SPHR Mark II. Please reduce the power lasers to its lowest power and activate all cooling systems. Thank you. Current SPHR Mark II stability is at 75%. Attention all personnel. The SPHR Mark II stability is at 50%. Quickly cool down the SPHR Mark II to prevent the stability from dropping any further. As a result, we had to close the entire facility due to safety measures. Urgent announcement, the SPHR Mark II stability is now at its lowest state. Please try to cool down the SPHR Mark II as fast as possible, or prepare for evacuation. This is a final warning before the SPHR Mark II is at risk of instability. The SPHR-2 is in an unrecoverable state. Please prepare for emergency evacuation. For now, please attempt to deactivate the SPHR Mark II to prevent further issues. Anyways, I gotta skip to phase 2 because phase 1 is only the deactivation phase. It isn't that worth showcasing as it's a quicker way to end the instability. Here we go, phase 2, which requires you to repair servers in order to get escape buses to pick you up. However, the servers will fail over time during this phase and you gotta repair those while being under the heat of explosion and such. Since I'm the only one in the server, there's not really that much for me to do. Anyways, I'm going to head for the escape bus. Well, here it is, Phase 3. The most intense out of all the phases in the instability. There's no hope in saving anything related to the facility, and the only solution you're left with is to escape this hopeless facility. The escape buses could be the solution if you're fast enough, otherwise you'll have to opt for the escape bunker, or just simply wait it out in the top side. Welp, this is it. This is one of the 8 endings that you can get. You can go through it as normal or simply wait it out, but since this is the very first beta version released publicly, I'll have to go through the dialogue. Thankfully, you can wait it out in 2.1.1 since there was a bug where the startup happened during an ending.
Still searching for any other survivors in the facility as I speak.
And that's the beta update. After almost 3 years of development, it's safe to say that Singularity Containment Site is nearly done. It's just missing one thing, but I'll get to that in a bit. Anyways, now that I'm done with the showcase, let's get back to where we were. It was mind-blowing to see how Singularity Containment Site evolved over the years, and it's nearing the end now. It went from some demo with barely anything to do to a thriving game with a plethora of things to do. Looking back at pre-alpha, it does give me a nostalgic feeling, and comparing it to now, it feels like an entirely different facility. Anyways, that's all for the legacy versions of ICSCS, and beta will join the lineup soon. However, there's another thing to address, and that is the forum results. There's 70 responses from you guys, and I had created a video that showcases the results, and here it is. Or prepare for evacuation. This is a final warning before the SPH-112 is at risk of instability. The SPH-2 is in an unrecoverable state. Hold up. Hello, and welcome to the ICSCS beta stream.
maybe just one day.
And that's the form results. To be honest, it's crazy to think about how much the game has grown, version-wise and popularity-wise. There were 2 OSTs during pre-alpha, and that library grown to a whopping 35 OSTs. From just 2 badges back in pre-alpha, which is the grand opening badge and the alpha testers badge, it grown to a whopping 80 badges if you include the alpha and beta testers badge. And yep, the concluding update will include 5 new badges for you to get if you're dedicated enough. Anyways, there's just one more thing I want to show. Throughout the years, you had played and shared gameplay of Singularity Containment Site, and you did make stellar progress along the way. There's just one last video to show you before concluding this stream in a way. I have compiled the game's statistics into this one video. Take a look. The transit approaching Station Alpha Platform 2. Please do not board this train as the train terminates here. Attention all passengers. Due to COVID-19 safety measures, we regret to inform you that the train capacity has been limited to 10 passengers. Yep, what you have seen at the end of the statistics videos is what's coming to the concluding update, also known as the full release. While this update is small, this is an update that I'm the most proud and fond of. I really wanted to emphasize that smaller updates doesn't necessarily mean that I'm less proud with it. This is less of an update for people, but more to myself in terms of enjoyment. And of course, less of what people wanted, but it's something that I wanted to happen. In addition to that, the concluding update does center around Guiley's backstory, and of course, you'll actually have to play the game in order to unlock this. It's up to you to go through this pathway to unlock the true ending, in which it's my favorite ending that I have ever done. Also, one more thing, if you had bought Canary Access back then, you'll gain this special gear, which is a mini SPHR Mark II that will follow you around wherever you go. Of course, I can't simply give a gear that could give you an advantage, but rather it's a cosmetic, and I'll hope you enjoy it. Now you're wondering, when can you play the concluding update? Well, since this is a small update centered around the Guiley backstory and is something that I enjoyed working on, the update will actually come out today. More specifically, it's right after the stream. And finally, before concluding this stream, I do have my final words to make before ending the journey for Singularity Containment Site. Somewhat. It'll be the discontinuation of major updates, to be specific. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the players that have been playing and supporting over the course of 3 years. Whether if you're watching the game evolve over time, enjoying the features that it provides, listening to the OSTs, or even witnessing the black hole instability. Without you guys, I would have less motivation to keep going with this game, and development would be more challenging than it is right now. Of course, there were obstacles like bugs that I had to fix, as well as brainstorming new ideas on what I wanted to put into the game. And do not worry, even if the major updates are discontinued, I'll still be fixing bugs from time to time. And I do have one minor update that I'll be working on in the next few months. And the game won't be shutting down either. There won't be any more OSTs either for the game, as ICSCS doesn't need any more OSTs. This is pretty much what we're left with. A huge and complete game with a lot to explore about it. And it's also worth mentioning that this is my last core game that I'm ever going to make. The reasoning will be revealed in a few weeks, so feel free to stay tuned about it. While it's sad that this journey is coming to an end, I'll still represent this game from time to time as the biggest game that I have ever developed on this platform. Who knows what would I make next, but it definitely won't be a core game. Anyways, that's all for the stream. There will definitely be a Q&A in the live chat on YouTube, so feel free to ask away. While this is the final stream for ICSCS, I do have something that's coming soon, like I said before. Thank you so much for watching this stream, and I'll hopefully see you another day.
I had like 2,000 cash and it's all gone, dang.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
the
Wait,
thing that I already...
Maybe
cash
because too
is
many
gone?
people joined. No. Too many people
Oh.
joined and it
I'm
caused the
sharing the
entire fucking
servers,
thing
don't
to
worry.
not load.
Someone start these servers and someone put the chambers the well,
Okay, so let's see. First, so
Maybe because too many people joined.
so let's see. First question. What is 1 plus 1? Hang on. Let me go ahead and grab my paper out just to do this. Okay, no. Okay. No, mine. I can't figure it out. Sorry. What's this? How did you come up with the idea of the SPHR Mark II? So I basically took like inspiration from my old game called Project Startup. Yeah, it was Project Startup, and it contains the SPHR Mark I. Yeah, it has the SPHR Mark I. I did not originally come with the. I originally did not come up with the idea, but Justo, I think the ACG founder actually came up with it, but sadly I couldn't. But sadly, I haven't talked to him in a while. Sorry. Okay, next question. So next up is so when does the depot man let us into to drive a train? Probably never. There's literally no controls to do so. There's literally. Sorry about that. I was in a. Yeah, the trains are automatic. There will never be a driver, sadly. So, next question. What would you do in the future? So what would you do in the future? So let's say that. Hang on. Okay, so what will you do in the future? I haven't really decided yet, but sadly, but well, we'll see what the future holds for me. Why does this have to be the full release? So the reason why this is the full release is because well, it's to actually put the final piece into ICSCS once and for all. And to be honest, it's actually my proudest update to date. And the full release, yeah, the reason why it's the full release is because, well, you'll see in the future. Will the unexpected data resets get fixed? I think I did put failsafe just in case you lose data by having badges and such. But I'm not really sure if it's actually gonna work though. I mean, actually, yeah, it does work, although partially. So, next question: how is a single script more than 100k lines, and how did you manage to do that without your brain imploding? So, to be honest, there's no single script that has more than 100 lines. The most so far is actually the 20k lines one. And to be honest, it was really hard working on that script. I've been working on the script for, since pre-alpha till now. So you can say that the script is actually 3 years old. Why is there a Malaysian flag in ICSCS even though the game takes place in Taiwan? The Malaysia flag is actually where the Malaysia flag is actually where the company started. Well, although it's not the law, but let's say that it represents me. Okay, next question. Where did you learn scripting? I actually learned scripting via, I actually self-taught myself to learn scripting because it was 2016, and the only thing I actually know how to the only thing I actually know of is the only thing I actually know what to do is, well, just simply script a meltdown or something. Silly, I know, but it works, I guess. What will happen in this update? So the true ending is the main thing that happens in the update. Like, so yeah, the true ending is actually the main focus for this update. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Why did you join the core game community? It was a really complicated story, but I actually joined the community back in 2016 where it was all computer cores and such, but then it actually expanded. Like, yeah, the only thing I did back then was just computer cores, and then in 2018 was when the reactor startup craze happened and such. And then 2021 is finally when I hopped onto the trend. I know, I took 3 years to do so, but, well, better late than never, I guess. Not a question on the game, but how has life been? Well, slowly getting back on track, but to be honest, kind of boring, I should say. Not a question on the game. Oh, I already answered that. How did you learn to build so well? Is it just talent, or what classes are there, etc.? I actually self-taught myself as well. I actually took a look at inspirations from, let's say, the real world, as well as some designs from the internet and such. Oh yeah, I forgot to add. I forgot the. Oh, never mind. I actually lost track on where the question is. Yeah, I actually lost track on what question to answer. My bad. Oh, I haven't answered this yet. Are you going to make games non-core related? Well, I mean, I could, but college in the way, assignments piling up. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm actually gonna have the time to actually create another one, I should say. But we'll see. Next question. What time is the update coming out? It actually came out today. Oh. Why did your power go out at the start of the stream? Well, it's because of a power trip. I had been suffering through that lately. Yeah, I don't really know what's causing this, but yeah, I've been experiencing power trips lately, and that's the reason why it went out. It just only happens at the second floor, but not the first floor. How do you make high quality games? Well, through practice, of course. Yeah, because of practice. I started in 2016, and in 2024 now, well, yeah, that's how far I came. Next up, about how the game behaved. You last time said there was only one remote event in the game. How are you able to push it without overloading the game? Well, it's because I do have, it's because I actually used an experimental type of scripting. I actually got the, I forgot what to say. I forgot, actually, I forgot. Yeah, I actually used an experimental type of scripting. That's why. Why did you decide to stop working on ICSCS? Did you think it was becoming boring, or is there another reason? Well, kind of both, but I do have a reason that I will post in the future once the time is right. How do you make high quality? Oh wait, I already what year of college are you in? Sophomore years, of course, the sophomore year. And life has gotten pretty difficult, I should say. When will there be free sound? Never. Will the friendship meter play a role in the true ending? Well, it's one of the, I gotta say, it's just one of the eligibilities for the true ending. What, do you want to move to the US because of your standard of living? Well, I mean, well, the prices will definitely get more expensive there, and to be honest, I was originally planning on moving to the US, but now I figured I'm happier where I'm living right now. What's next? Hello, how did you first get the idea of Guidely being a guide? It was 2023, and I was working on the guide system, but I didn't want the guide to be boring, so I came up with a new character. It was originally a character for another alias of mine, but then it expanded into being a guide. Hence, that's the reason why Guidely is here now. Where did you first learn to script? 2016, and it was back in IBCC. When did you start ICSCS development? So I actually started the development back in July of 2021. Pretty sure it was July 26th. The same month and day the Smile album debuted. What's the next great journey aftermath of final update in ICSCS? Well, not really sure. I'm honestly not really sure. Because yeah, I'm not really sure about what the future holds for me, but I guess we'll see. why was the first version of the SPHR cancelled? I think you meant like pre-alpha or something. I don't know. Okay. How much hours do you spend once when working on an update? A lot. I even spent like 1,000 hours previously working on a single update, and yeah, it got tiring. At what age did you first play a core game? Oh yeah, this is an interesting one. I was not into the community till 2016, but 2013 is actually when I first played it. I actually first played Pinewood Computer Core back in 2013, where it first had the Flying Squirrels music. But then 3 years later, I finally created a core game on my own, Intelligent Builders Computer Core. What would happen if you fry an egg on the superstructure if the SPHR didn't eat it? It'll probably turn into toast if it's a solid material. But if it's a non-solid, then well, it'll just go through. Hang on.
Right next to the person standing on the startup button.
That would be me.
Okay, there we go.
3, 2, 1.
What Epic is standing on the core startup button that starts the core.
Anyways,
Printing image.
Okay, like, when is the meltdown happening?
Epic
Or is there music that just deleted or
starts at
something?
the core, which the Epic is currently standing on.
No, that's not
Hello. I'm
One
gonna eat the
drive,
core
one
now.
I want to eat the core. How dare you?
Don't look too. Can't you just like make the temperature like a gajillion degrees?
Oh boy.
Does this door even work? No, it does not.
Can we have like an instant meltdown now?
There you go. Put the image in general. If you guys want me to take another photo, let me know. I'm
yeah.
certainly a digital photographer, so I'm pretty good at it.
Okay, now time to take a look at the bug reports. Oh no, not the black hole hell again.
Oh, no! Oh!
There seems to be neon glowy line things all over the place. And
What? The experience is restrict. Hang on, let me go ahead and see what's happening here.
Hello,
Okay.
chat.
Alright,
I believe this VCS on stream again.
This emo is glitched. You're literally jumping on thin air sometimes. Like, look at my character.
How is this experience restricted? What the hell?
What are you trying to do?
That's an issue. That's an issue.
Hey, I'll be heading off for a moment. I got another stream to watch, but you
Is
take
the
care, 'cause
server
I'm not
locked?
gonna be walking around, so enjoy the concluding
the
update,
server
guys.
There goes Peter.
Like, how long is the meltdown in the old IBCC? I'm like still waiting for it to happen. After this.
I actually can't remember, honestly.
Just look at my stream, it's like so broken.
Oh,
And the servers are blinking.
oh yeah, your stream does have spoilers, so yeah, it's best not to look at it for the time being. I mean, as long as you're not planning to go for the true ending or something.
I mean, I'm just asking you
Question
to
for the
because
developer.
like yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna try to type the codes.
Do you have the admin panel on
I'm
public servers?
highlighted. What?
I just had a goofy idea. What if I type in the codes from the open source version? Will they actually work?
Probably not.
I mean, I can give it a try. Hold on.
Help!
But
I'm being highlighted by the black hole. Never mind.
Oh my
green
gosh.
strip.
You stop putting fire in the hole in your presentations?
Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah, doesn't
Fire in the
work.
hole.
This doesn't work.
No.
Oh
Okay,
no.
Attempt to trying to join you guys
Fire in
with
the
whatever
hole.
kind of
Anyways,
kind of connection this is.
yeah, stream will end in like around 20 minutes or something.
Oh
'Cause,
my,
Yeah,
look,
that might be a
look
problem.
at my stream.
Alright.
Look at my stream.
hang on, I got more
Also wanna
questions
know what was a problem? The temperature of the reactor. I don't like it. Plus,
hang
I
on.
live here.
Hang on, I gotta defend myself. There's more questions too. Okay. Can you still get the small SPHR if you get Canary after the closing? Well, yes, you can actually do it. Okay, next question. What was the hardest update you've ever done? I'd say Alpha Part 1 because it's actually revolutionary in terms of features and it helps build up what the updates. Like, it's the base for the rest of the updates, I should say. Occupations, yep. Alpha Part 2, pre-beta, actually has extensions of it. And then there are also tasks as well. Well, basically a lot of things that I can't think of from my head right now. What's the hardest thing you have worked on in ICSS? Do you mean the game or the ICSS itself in the game? If it's the ICSS, then well, it's definitely the latency stuff. Like every time the latency changes, all of the scripts will, all of the streams in the facility will update. Let's see. How long did the Devastation update take to be fully ready to be released? Well, I did introduce a concrete date on June 15, and yep, that actually happened because, well, it's because because that's basically the only thing introduced in beta, just the Devastation, as well as other side features, of course. Next question. Are you going to continue uploading music on YouTube after the development of ICSCS has stopped? Well, yep, I will actually do that. Although I might be switching up my style in the future, but who knows? I don't know. Sorry about that. I was just diagnosing a bug. When will the stream end? Well, probably in the next 15 minutes or so. Let's see. I have a question. It says I joined in 2024 even though I joined during the pre-alpha launch stream. Did some of my data get lost? Well, if you actually joined during pre-alpha, that means the game won't even, that means, yeah, your data did get lost because it was really outdated. Like, yeah, it was when the data gets, actually I can't remember. Yeah, maybe you might have joined during alpha part, maybe you might have joined during pre-alpha but then skipped over several updates or something. Anyways, what's this? Do you want to join us in game? Sadly I can't right now. I'm just busy fixing stuff. What's the advice of being solo game dev? So my advice is try not to overpressurize yourself like I did. I know, kind of a dumb decision, but, well, yeah, that's... Yeah, try not to overpressurize yourself, and honestly, you would have more creativity if you actually done a game for yourself, because otherwise the team might argue like, oh, this idea won't work and such. Yeah, I prefer to actually be in peace, actually. Will there be game nights so we can all play together? Maybe in the future, but I don't know when, actually. Okay, I'm done asking the questions for today. Well, I'll go through the questions soon. Probably. For now, I'll leave it here. Stream will still end at 10 a.m. though, for me, or the next hour. I had to end the Q&A because, well, but yeah, yeah. Okay, I guess at this point I should end the stream because, well, thanks for watching, guys, and this is definitely the end of my journey here, because, yeah, this is definitely the end of my journey here, because while it's fun while it lasted, yeah, it's actually fun while it lasted, though. I do have an announcement that I want to make in the coming days, but, yeah. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next time.